Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming a very lovely lady who is a very brave and awesome stunt lady from way back in the day, and I am talking about Jean Coulter. She did stunts for such classic TV shows as Charlie's Angels, Planet of the Apes, The $6 Million Man, Wonder Woman. She worked on classic movies like Burt Reynolds' movie The End, Jaws 2, The Blues Brothers, Cujo, Better Off Dead, and so many others. And I'm having her on the show today to talk about all that stuff. Her sister was Laurie Martin from the show National Velvet, and she played Gregory Peck's daughter in Cape Fear. And I'm going to talk to her about all that stuff today, and I can't wait. It's going to be pretty awesome. And I hope all you out there are staying safe during this crazy time of the coronavirus. So, here is my interview with Jean Coulter. Hey, Jean, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Tom. Thanks a lot for having me.
Absolutely. It's such an honor. Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, my pleasure. I enjoy it, too.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. Just so you know, Jean, 4-letter words are welcome on this podcast.
Oh, well, that's not me.
Okay.
Like love. Okay. That's good. Yeah.
So, going back in time, according to my research, your sister was Laurie Martin, who played Gregory Peck's daughter in Cape Fear.
Yes. She also had a TV series called National Velvet. She looked a lot like Liz Taylor. That's why she got the part.
Yeah. Did you also do some acting in your childhood?
Oh, yes. All four of us were put into Children's Screen Actors Guild when we were like 2 and 3 years old. So we all did commercials and things like that. My father was an art director. He headed over Warner Brothers, and he designed all the Disney worlds around the world. So we were in the business. We grew up as children in the business. So, yes,
Wow, he designed all the Disney worlds. That is really impressive.
Yes, all the main streets are his designs.
Wow, that's amazing. Did you also gravitate towards stunts and athletics in your childhood?
Oh yes, but we all grew up being very athletic. We had a pool in the backyard. We rode horses on the weekends. Right behind our street, there was a recreational center, so we went there and played all sorts of sports. So yes, we were very active. When my sister got her TV series, it was about a horse, so they hired somebody to train her how to ride, and we all got to do it too. So yeah, it was just part of our childhood, being active.
Yeah, climbing trees, jumping.
Oh yeah, climbing trees and onto the roof, and a lot of time doing those kind of things. Jumping into the pool from the roof. Oh yeah. We were always in trouble.
Yeah. Do you ride motorcycles?
Yes, I do, but I'm not an expert at riding motorcycles, not at all. You have to really ride for a long time to do that. I could ride down the street and, ride them a little bit, but no. Usually they hire the expert to do those kind of things. I did them for, like, Charlie's Angels, just a drive-by or whatever like that. But that's about it. My expertise were all sorts of other things. So I learned a little bit about everything so that I was versatile in that respect.
Would you say that you were a tomboy growing up?
Pretty much. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I hung around with the guys that raced cars, and I raced cars when I was young, 16 years old. My sister was given a 57 T-Bird from MGM, and she couldn't drive, so I got to drive it. So I hung around with guys that raced at Lion Speedway at the time. Yeah, I guess I was a tomboy. Yeah.
Yeah, all the stuff.
It was more fun, you know. It was more exciting than just doing girl things.
Yeah, all the stunt women I've interviewed that Spice Williams, Leslie Hoffman, Marnine Fields, they told me that they were all tomboys growing up. I think you kind of have to be a stunt performer.
Yeah, I agree. Although I didn't look tomboyish because I entered a lot of beauty contests, so I did quite look like a girl, and, you know, my body wasn't really hugely muscular, anything like that, so.
Oh, that's pretty interesting that you were in those contests, but yet you were a tomboy.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, well, I lifted weights when women weren't lifting weights in the early 60s. I was lifting weights with, like, Mr. Universe and Mr. America, and I just really enjoyed that. That was something I liked to do, so.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't especially like being in the beauty contest that much, but I enjoyed working out with weights and learning how to keep your body in shape.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting to me, health.
Yeah. And were you also born and raised in Los Angeles?
Burbank, California. Yep, we were a block away from Columbia Ranch.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go there a lot. And, yeah, we grew up, in the back door of Warner Brothers, so it was fun.
Yeah. So how did you get into the industry?
Well, my parents put us all in. We were in, like I said, at 3 years old. My father was at the time over at Warner Brothers, so my mother was, drove us around to interviews and took my sister to work a lot. My sister did a lot of work when she was young. She had the TV series, a lot of big features she did with Polly Bergen, Gregory Peck, and Robert Mitchum, and Kelly Savalas, and she did a lot of shows, so my mom was busy taking her and all of us to interviews, and, that's what we did.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know any better.
I'm sorry, I should rephrase the question. I mean, how did you get into doing stunts in the industry?
Well, I was really, everybody wanted to be an actress for my vocation, but I didn't like it. I was kind of shy.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought, I'd rather do stunts. So I was just lucky that I got into doing stunts. I hated acting, and even though I ended up getting some good parts with my acting jobs, it helped me get work, and that's what I was interested in. But I've always been kind of shy, and doing stunt work, you're somebody else, so they don't really know you or know who you are, so that was fine with me,
Yeah. And this is like right at the height of the golden age of stunt performers. This is like at the time of Gary Kent, the Epper family, Gary McLarty, Ted White, Bob Terhune, Dar Robinson. I mean, there were some talented men doing stunts back then. Yeah,
I worked with the best. I worked for Hal Needham a lot. Mm-hmm. I worked with Dar Robinson. I traveled with he and his wife and lit him on fire at 200 feet. I worked with the best, really.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite interesting. I learned guys,
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones that were experimenting and came up with different things to do in the business, and whether it's car rolls or whatever, they were doing it, experimenting. So it was fun for me.
Yeah, how many women were doing stunts when you started?
Oh boy, not that many. Probably, I might say 20, maybe a little bit more. But like the Eppers and Julianne Johnson, Patty Elder. I kind of took Patty Elder's place. She was real little and blonde, and we were very similar. Mm-hmm. And but no, there was very few women in the business. I think we had Stunt Women Association. And then later on, a group was started with Jeannie Epper, myself, and Julianne Johnson. Leslie Hoffman called Society of Professional Stunt Women. and we were the top 13 in the business. We did all the work, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just grew, and now it's incredible. So it's kind of neat. But no, we were lucky. And guys were still putting on wigs when we were working. We kind of had to fight to get the jobs, So it was challenging at the time.
Yeah, and by the time you left, there was probably a lot more women.
Oh, golly, yes, absolutely. Tremendous amount of more women.
You got to see it progress.
Yes. And it's hard. It was hard then to get work and to work all the time. I mean, at one point I was working 200 days a year on daily basis, so that was huge.
Mm-hmm.
Most women, work a couple of days a month, so there just wasn't that much work. We were lucky in the late 70s when like Charlie's Angels came around and some of the other TV shows that had women, so put more women to work, and the guys weren't putting on the wigs then as much.
Yeah.
It still goes on. They're still wigging the guys for shows, so it still goes on.
I know. To me, that's just hilarious.
What, guys selling women?
Yeah, wearing the wigs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. Because really, when you're doubling a woman, you walk differently than a man. A man doesn't walk like a woman. Their actions are not like a woman. So,
unless
I think it's more important to have a woman double women.
Unless it's a gay man who can walk like a woman really well.
Yes. No, we didn't have too many of those, but, you're right. Yeah.
So I'm going to mention movies and TV shows you did stunts for. Tell me anything that you remember from them.
Okay.
Planet of the Apes TV series.
Yeah, I remember I was on the ground and the apes were riding the horses and they had to hit me with the horse and I had to fall down. Yeah, that was a nice job.
Did they put...
And of course the women don't wear too much. They had like skimpy leather outfit on. So when I worked that show, it was just a skimpy leather outfit, nothing on my legs. So when you get hit by a horse and you fall in the dirt, you get bruised.
Yeah.
That's how most jobs were for women. A little bit more harder because of the wardrobe.
Yeah, so they didn't put ape makeup on you for that?
No. I was a human.
Oh, okay.
Lucky I was a human. I never did work as an ape, which I like that because makeup was hours, I think.
Yeah.
And it was hot and miserable to work out at Paramount Ranch when it was 100 degrees and had all that, makeup on. It was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I was lucky.
The $6 Million Man.
Yeah, I think I did car work on that, so I didn't really get hurt. So, yeah.
The short-lived Invisible Man.
Oh, boy. I don't know. Some of those shows were just dumb jobs where you're a prisoner or something. You get drug on the street or, get knocked down. Or some of the jobs were just kind of simple jobs. So that was one of those small jobs.
Yeah.
Not like a car hit or anything like that,
Yeah. I heard the new Invisible Man that just came out is not very good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's hard to replace the originals, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still doing Charlie's Angels, but I just think the originals are just kind of like the best.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Everybody has their own opinion on that.
I agree. I agree. Because everything now is being shot on digital.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, times have changed, yeah. Even the stunt work, it's huge. It's gigantic, but it's almost too much.
Mm-hmm.
When we were doing it, it was one thing and one big thing, and much different now. Much different.
Mm-hmm. You got to have a lot of stories about Charlie's Angels.
Oh, of course. I did the pilot. I doubled all three girls on the pilot, so that started the TV series. And through the years, I got to double all the girls, mostly Sarah and Cheryl. And then I doubled Kate and Jacqueline and, all of them at one time or another. Even though I was short, I did stuff like car work or something where you didn't see my height. But people like Cheryl Love, they could film me from the side. I was so close to Cheryl's face and body, and same with Farrah, same thing. So, yeah, it was a great show. It was a lot of stunt work for women. It was hard stuff, too. It wasn't easy. I did a lot of hard jobs on that show. So it gave me a lot of work and a lot of other women work. So it was great for our business.
Were you there the entire run?
Off and on. Yeah, pretty much off and on. They didn't have me on a weekly, so I had to go get other work. So that's what I did. If I was on a movie or something that took 3 months, I wasn't on Charlie's, but I always seemed to go back. They always called me back, so it was good. I would have rather, of course, be on a weekly for the whole run of it, so I didn't have to look for other work, but that's not the way they did it then. So, yeah.
How was working with the girls on that show?
Oh, gosh. They were all great. I had no problem with any of them. Of course. I mean, we were friends. We had fun. We laughed. The girls were all great. Just really fun to work with, so.
You're the first one I've heard say that.
Really? Well, I had no problem. I get along with everybody, though.
Yeah.
They say some women can be difficult. I don't know. You don't know what they go through or what happened. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Can't believe everything you hear. But no, the girls were great. It's not an easy job what they did either.
Yeah.
They're very popular. Their weekends were booked. I mean, they had no time. So it's not easy being a star.
No.
I don't think. My sister was one, so I saw what they go through. It's not fun all the time.
Yeah, especially with those shows, I mean, Eric Estrada was on Chips, and he went through an awful lot on that show. They were telling him, to do certain things, and he even admits he hurt a lot of people during that time, but he regrets it now and stuff because, it was a lot of pressure,
Sure. I met him when he first started the TV series. Funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice man. Very nice man.
Yeah, I've heard that about him.
Mm-hmm.
How about 2-minute warning?
Oh, yeah, with Charlton Heston. Yes, I sat and talked to him for hours. What a great guy. That was a crazy show. We had like thousands of extras, and we had to run, and they ran us down, and oh my goodness, it was a whole thing of trying to make it through the tunnels and all this stuff. In fact, I got thrown up on the top of this hot dog stand, and my legs were half on it, so the metal bar was right at the top of my leg, and people were jumping on top of me and cut my muscle in my leg. So it was a hard job. It was very dangerous because the people that are wavers, when they say action, they go crazy. It's not controlled.
Yeah.
So all of us stunt people were holding on to each other just to maintain not going down the ground and, having everybody run you over. So, yeah, that was quite a show.
Yeah. The story I heard, you know Susan Baccalini?
Oh, of course. Uh-huh.
Yeah, story I heard is that when she was in the football game crowd, she flashed her breasts at the whole crowd.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah. Well, that really kind of wasn't allowed, I don't think, to be filmed. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know about.
I'm not sure what the restrictions were, but.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I was actually supposed to interview her recently, but she's not doing very good, I don't think. So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I decided not to. I kept calling, and she didn't know who I was and stuff, and I was just like, okay, something's wrong, so I'm not gonna go through with it. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, I never really knew her. I didn't know her as working in our business a lot. You know, I knew she did Jaws, but I didn't. As a stunt woman working in the business, I never knew her in any of the groups, or I never saw her around working or anything. So I'm not sure how much she worked.
Yeah, well, I know that animal training was her specialty.
Oh, okay.
Working with animals on movie sets.
Kind of me too, you know, with Cujo, and I did a show with a lion and dogs and stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't know anything about her.
Mm-hmm. How about working on Burt Reynolds' movie The End?
Oh, they were great. I mean, Dom DeLuise, oh my goodness, you get up, go to work in the morning, and nonstop laughing with Burt Reynolds and Dom, and oh my God, I had so much fun on that show. I did a part, of course, and I did stunt work with them, and it was just great fun. It was like I should have paid them. I had so much fun. You know, we did some good stunts too on it, and I got a pretty nice on the show. From then on, Burt Reynolds used to always ask me to work on his shows, which was really a pleasure because it was so much fun. He was just a fun man.
Yeah, that was the first of several movies him and Dom made together.
Yeah. Yeah, I was supposed to do Hooper, but I had torn up my leg, so I was in a cast, and I couldn't work the show, but I went down to visit, but no, a great group of people, and Dom DeLuise, I mean, he made us laugh so hard.
Yeah.
We didn't even eat lunch, we were laughing so hard. He was just dynamite.
Yeah. Now, Hooper would have been
I know why Bert had him all the time on his shows. He had so much fun.
Yeah, Hooper would have been a good one for you to work on.
I know. I went and I saw him filming and stuff. They asked me to come down, but I just couldn't work because I was on crutches. So, unfortunately, I couldn't work. Yeah.
How about Jaws 2?
Oh, well, you know Jaws 2. That's, I don't know. People just don't forget that. You know, it's been one of the biggest things I've ever done. I was interviewed, and there was like 500 women up for it, and I ended up getting the part. And boy, it's been wonderful. I mean, they show it all the time, of course, and I have fans from all over the world. People write me and say, you know, I couldn't even take a bath because of your scene. So it's quite funny. It's quite funny, but it's amazing how it stayed all these years and still popular, and still people write you and want your autograph, and it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as good as the original, but I like it just as much, you know?
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I agree. The original was really something else. But I think that Jaws 2 really, they did a good job on it. I think it turned out pretty good. And it's obviously still popular because it's on all the time, so people like it.
Yeah, you had a little acting part in it, too.
Yes, I did, yep. Yeah, get to shoot the shark and scar him for life. Yes. It was a fun show. A lot of months working on the water with the fire and everything, you know. And I didn't have gel or a wetsuit or anything. We just got lit on fire and had Nomex, and that was about it. So it was an interesting show. I learned a lot about fire on that show, but I kind of taught myself with the special effects man. So it was interesting, and I didn't even get burned. Didn't get scorched or anything. I lost my eyebrows and my eyelashes, but nothing else, so I was very lucky.
Wow, your eyebrows and your eyelashes. Wow.
Yeah, because the wind was whipping around out in the water. You know, you couldn't control the wind, so of course the fire flipped around too. So at one point, you know, they lit my whole back on fire, went all the way up my head. Hair was on fire too, so the wig. So, yeah, it was interesting. We did a lot of days doing that, of course. Which I didn't think they could film that much, but they did.
Yeah, did it burn other places of your face or your skin?
No, it just took my eyebrows and eyelashes off. It just whipped around and singed off what was there. But I didn't get burned, no blisters. I was very fortunate, really. You know.
Oh, that's a blessing. I'll tell you.
It was.
That's a real blessing. How about working on Wonder Woman?
Oh yeah. One day they called me in, and I had to slide a car right up to her, Linda Carter. And I remember the guys were taking bets on the side that I couldn't do it or I could do it, and they're betting on the side, and I had to come in and slide and hit a mark where Linda Carter had to stand right there. And I did it probably 8 times, and then she came out. And she watched me do it so she could feel comfortable standing there. And that's what I did. I slid the car right up to her. She stood there and wasn't afraid, or it was something. I was afraid, but she wasn't. Just kidding. I was more concerned about doing the job, of course. So, yeah, that was a fun show.
Yeah, I think
Jeannie Upper, of course, was her stunt double.
Yeah, and Leslie worked on there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was Linda Carter to work with?
Wonderful. So sweet and just really a nice girl. Yeah, she was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Deborah Winger worked on there too.
I remember her. I worked with her. Very sweet too. A lot of nice ladies in those years. You know, even though they were popular, they kept their sweetness, and they didn't change that much. You know.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember working on The Amazing Spider-Man or Captain America?
Oh yeah. Sure. Just I don't know what we did. I don't remember really. Probably, in the crowd or got pushed around or thrown down to the ground. Just dumb little jobs like that, But yes, I remember working on them, yeah.
Yeah, I've talked to Nicholas Hammond, who played Spider-Man, and another actress who was on that show. And I've been trying to get Reb Brown, who played Captain America, for the longest time and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know Fred Wall doubled Spider-Man for years.
Fred Wall?
Fred Wall.
Oh.
Was a little guy. He was used to be a trapeze artist and became a pretty good stuntman and stunt coordinator, and he worked that show a lot. My brother made his glasses that he wore and drilled little holes into those glasses in the suit, so that was kind of interesting. But no, he did a lot of work on going down the building, on wires, so that was interesting.
Oh, did your brother do props?
No, my brother made prescription glasses for people. And Fred Waugh went to him knowing, who he was, because we were all friends, and had him make his glasses for the show. So.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, we celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Blues Brothers.
Oh, God. Can you believe it? Yeah. I can't believe it. I still feel the same age as when I worked the shows. It's crazy. Oh, that was a great show. That was such a great show. John Landis directing, and I remember we were down in a shopping mall and cars flying through the plate glass. That was real plate glass. And it would fly across the mall and stick into concrete. So it was most dangerous show to work on. Most dangerous, but fun.
Yeah.
The car work, Gary McClarty coordinated it, and it was a crazy show.
And Gary McClarty was also that guy, buying the Sesame Street doll in the toy shop. Yeah.
I mean, Gary was such a great guy, so fun, and his car work was incredible. I worked a lot with him, a lot. Mm-hmm. He was incredible. Just a very talented man.
Yeah. And I just love that scene. They just destroyed that whole shopping mall.
Oh, yeah. Nobody got hurt either. I mean, we had wavers working, and when they hit the plate glass and we would run in front of the cars, that glass was so damn dangerous, We had no protection. But it worked out good. Yeah. I remember John Landis yelling during the scenes. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And the actors,
John Belushi.
John, oh gosh, he was great. He was so funny. Just a nice man. Very talented.
Yeah, very talented.
Good show to work on. A lot of good stunts on it. I love doing car work, so for me it was great.
Yeah,
not necessarily running in front of those cars though with the plate glass. It would have really hurt us bad if we got hit,
Yeah, this is one of those movies my dad and I used to watch when my mom wasn't home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. To me, it's
quite moving.
Yeah, to me, it's the best Saturday Night Live movie, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. It was a great movie. It really was.
Mm-hmm. I've talked to 3 guys in the band, and one of my friends was a stand-in on the movie, and nothing but fond memories.
Oh, gosh, yes. When you work a movie that good people are working on and fun people, you just don't forget it. It's more fun than it is work. You go to work to do work, but I'll tell you something. Some of those shows we worked on then were so much fun. I would have paid to work on them. That's how much fun they were. Just everybody had a great time.
Yeah.
Did some really hard stuff, too,
Yeah. How about the Cujo experience?
Oh, yeah. That's where I had my nose torn off. Almost lost my whole nose.
Oh.
I would have had 2 holes, and that was it. But luckily, I had a little teeny piece of skin attached, and I had 49 stitches, and they sewed it back on. So I was really lucky. It would have really not made me look too good, But no, that was a hard job with the dogs. I trained all dogs. 5 of them we worked with, and the one I worked with all the time, he was a very sweet dog. And he worked too hard and too long, and by the time I said call him off, it took him time to come in and get him off. He was clawing at my chest and going after a toy I had around my neck. And that's how I got him to come after me, with a little toy. And he just got angry at some point. You can feel it in an animal, where they're having fun time and playing games and getting their toy. But when they don't get their toy, and it's a long time, they change their attitudes and they get mad. And that's what happened with him. He got angry, started clawing my chest. I lifted up my face because he was on top of me. He weighed 20 pounds. I was 104. So he was heavy. I'm laying on my back, and the console's into my back, so it's really painful.
Oh my God.
And they couldn't get him off in time. I called them, and I said, get him off, but they took time to come in and get him. By that time, he was chomping at my nose and could have got my chin or my eye. So I was very, very fortunate. That job I was lucky.
Oh my God. You are just inspirational, Jean. You really are.
Oh, please.
No, I mean...
No, it's just part of working, honey. Just part of doing the stunt,
I know, but you're a lady with balls, I have to say.
Oh, gosh.
That is just incredible. I mean...
That's funny.
I mean, I couldn't do something like that. I mean, that's just amazing. Dee Wallace, she's been on the show twice. She is an absolute delight, isn't she?
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Very, very sweet, very down to earth. No, she's great. I loved her. You just get to work with these ladies and you see how nice they are, and it's refreshing. It's refreshing. You make friends and have fun and just another experience in your life that you never forget, you know.
Mm-hmm. And Dee, she sent me a Christmas card.
Oh, how sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, very sweet. Very kind.
I have it framed.
Very sweet. Oh, how nice, honey.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, she's one that remembers other people.
Mm-hmm. She sure does.
That's neat. That's neat.
You worked on
Glad to hear that.
You worked on Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Oh, yeah. I did a fight scene on it. I had this battery that weighed like 10 pounds on my butt.
Mm-hmm.
In the costume, my costume lit up. And, of course, I was nothing on my legs or arms or anything. Had to do a fight scene. They ended up cutting it out. But, no, it was fun. And when I saw my costume was sold for like $600 on the internet. But, no, it was a good show.
Yeah, I actually think Leonard Nimoy did a better job directing the fourth one because I think on this one, part 3, he didn't have enough creative control, you know. And one critic said that part 3 looked like a TV movie of the week, whereas part 4 looks like, you know, an action-packed, you know, theatrical movie, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. He was a nice man. Very nice man.
Yeah, I saw this interview.
Very talented.
I saw this interview that he did. It was like an interview he did like 30 years ago or something. This was like at the time that he died. He did this cheesy sci-fi serial in 1951. It was the first thing he ever did in Hollywood. And he said, if you ever see it on a video store shelf, don't pick it up.
Oh, wow.
It was that bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't see the show, so I'm not sure, you know, what it looked like. But I'm sure that you get better. The more you do, of course, you get better. You learn from your experiences. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. How about working on Better Off Dead?
I think I was doubling somebody on that show. And I think it was car work. I'm not sure. But,
Diane Franklin.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you go in, you'll meet the person you're doubling. You don't even remember them.
Mm-hmm.
So, names, unless there's somebody like Faye Dunaway or, you know, Farrah Fawcett, you don't remember a lot of the girls you've doubled.
Yeah, Diane, she's been on the show 6 times, including my very first one. She was my very first guest. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, well, that's remembering.
Yeah.
Wow,
She's actually coming back on a 7th time in a couple of weeks.
Oh, cool. Is she still working a lot? Or?
Oh, yeah. She does these little independent films here and there. She does a lot of conventions. She loves meeting her fans.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Yeah, I did a convention last year. It was fun. Yeah. I understand where she's coming from. How neat.
Mm-hmm. Was it the Hollywood show?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go in May until they canceled it because of this coronavirus.
Wow.
I was pretty upset because I wanted to meet. There was going to be like 10 people from Greece there, and I was looking forward to it.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
How neat. Oh,
yeah.
That'll be a good one.
Well, hopefully they'll reschedule it for the August show once this whole thing clears up. You know.
Yes.
We'll see about that. How about working on Out of Bounds?
Yeah, don't remember specifically what I did on that show. I think I doubled this blonde girl.
Yeah, Jenny Wright.
Yeah, she was great. Great fun. Yeah, young girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to book her currently. Yeah. I'll bring up that I talked to you.
Oh yeah. I don't know if she'll remember, but I even think I have a picture of her and I together. Funny. I don't even remember what I did on the show. You know, some things are just like a blur.
Yeah.
Go in on a daily basis. You work so much, you don't remember. You go from job to job and injury to injury, and you just don't remember unless it's some big job, you know.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. I don't remember a lot of those things that we did.
That's okay. So how many injuries overall did you get in your career?
Not that much for what I worked, I'll tell you. I think the worst was when I broke my back in 7 places, and I was with Dar Robinson, the best in the world. And the airbag was too hard for my weight. It never opened up. So when I hit it flat on my back, it whipped my body and broke it in 3 places up on top and 4 places on the bottom. I think that was the worst. Other than that, it's just, you know, black and blue and whiplashes, a lot of whiplashes. Never broke an arm or a leg, or I broke my foot 5 times, but no big deal. But I think I'm lucky because I did some hard things. Jumping out of cars, you know, I had like 5 concussions. So jumping out of cars was probably the hardest. High falls were, you know, I broke my back at 35 feet, and that was because the airbag wasn't set up right. So other than that, no, I think I was very fortunate through the years.
Yeah.
I did a lot of hard stuff, you know.
Yeah, my God. I broke my leg in 7 places in a car wreck about 5 years ago.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. 7 places.
Yeah.
Wow. That took how long to heal?
I mean, overall, it's still going on, but it's a lot better now than it was, 3-4 years ago.
Wow.
I got bad arthritis, but other than that, I mean, it's great. I wish I could run again. I can't run anymore.
You know, I find that the years go by, and diet has a lot to do with pain.
Right.
You know, I found that out. But I do yoga, and yoga is not such a hard thing on your body, but it'll keep you really strong, and that might be good for you. Because I always feel you can come back, no matter what the injuries. If you let your body heal, I think you can come back. But swimming is such a great thing, and, yoga, like I say, and I don't know, running anymore. I don't run, so I'd like to. I hike all the time. But that's about it. I lift weights.
Oh my God,
That's what I do.
Oh my God, I mean, you would talking to you ordinarily on the street. The average person wouldn't notice about you because you're so sweet, but yet you're a tough lady.
I know, it's crazy. I know I don't look like a stunt woman, and I'm 76 years old now, so
wow.
People don't know how old I am. I've just been lucky to not show my age, but I've always felt it was important to stay in shape for my own health, So,
yeah.
I never felt tough. I just knew I liked doing the job, and I had to get it done. So, it's been great for me. What can I say?
Yeah. So what made you quit after all those years?
I was blacklisted.
Really?
Leslie Hoffman and I and Julianne Johnson, we were blacklisted, yeah. I didn't want to go to some guy's room, and he changed everything I was doing on the show, so I told him he didn't need 2 stunt women to do one job, and I quit. He says, you're going to be blacklisted for the rest of your life. I didn't believe him. But boy, it was true. I went from working 200 days a year to 12 days a year, so yeah, it worked. Which I was shocked because I grew up in the business. I knew everybody. Everybody loves me. I never had any problems with anybody in the business,
Yeah.
I was just like a big family, but boy, this guy was just something else. Just really, really nasty man. But,
oh my God.
I lost everything. I lost my camera car business. I lost my home, my bills. I lost everything because I couldn't work.
Oh, my
So I
God.
just moved up to Yosemite. I just dumped everything and moved up to Yosemite.
Oh, my God.
Bought and sold real estate, and I don't know, did some stained glass for expensive gift shops, and that was it. Changed my life, you know?
Yeah.
Tried to fight it, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
It was just...
You looked into you looked into legal channels and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, I did, but then they said the statute of limitations was up. I went to an attorney. I believe the attorney had dealings with them, and my attorney said statute of limitations was up, but that wasn't true. I filed a lawsuit because, you know, there's no statute of limitations when you're blacklisted. It's continuing.
Yeah.
You don't get a call for work. It's a continued thing. There's no end to it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I think that was dirty pool when we went through that. So, yeah, I lost that channel.
Oh.
And I just kind of gave up, you know.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I just gave up. So it's okay. You know, the stunts I was doing, I would have been killed sooner or later.
Yeah.
I would have been hurt badly. So, you know, it was probably, I looked at it, probably a blessing in disguise in the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I mean, you have to look at it. It's a change in your life, and fighting it doesn't do you any good, and being upset about it doesn't do you any good. So you just move on and you try to, you know, do something else. And that's what I did.
Yeah. Leslie told me her story. Yeah, she told me off air, though she couldn't talk about it on there because she's still going through legal constraints and all that. But yeah, oh my God, it's just terrible. There's a lot of stuff in Hollywood that needs to be changed, and I have seen what needs to be changed, especially from interviewing 700 plus people on this podcast. That I see stuff that just needs to be changed. You know.
Yes, I think it's changing. I think that the Harvey Weinstein thing is changing a lot. I think it will change. I have good feeling about it, you know, because for a long time, let me tell you, it was hard for me to go to work. It was hard for me to go to work. I had to, you know, make friends, but not be too friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I had to get a job and not do two jobs for the price of one. I mean, it was a challenge being a woman in the business. So, yeah, I see things will change and it'll be good. So.
Mm-hmm. So you went and sold real estate. Did you eventually retire?
Yeah, I bought and sold real estate, and that's what I did. Yeah, I moved to Yosemite and brought my horses up there and hiked and rode my horses, and that was it. Yeah.
Wow.
And I made it, and, you know, of course I would have rather worked in the business, but that's the way it ended up to be, so it was okay.
You're just so inspiring, Jean. You really are.
Oh, you're so kind. Thanks so much. That's so sweet.
Yeah, it is. I mean, God, that's just you're a tough lady, and I admire that so much.
Oh, thanks a lot, Tom. Thanks a lot. That's very kind.
Of course, of course.
You don't have a choice, though. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a choice.
In certain situations, you don't have a choice. In others, you do. But at that point in time, you didn't have a choice.
No. Mm-mm.
So Jean, there's this game that I like to play with my guests.
Yeah.
What this is it's silly slumber party questions, and how this works is I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me the exact same question, and I answer it.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. So, Jean, are you ticklish?
Yes. So, Tommy, are you ticklish?
I am baby ticklish, yes.
Okay.
What's your favorite part of the body?
I think my feet.
Oh,
What's your favorite part of the body?
I love all belly buttons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What color are your toenails painted?
Pink. Dark pink. What colors
Nice.
are yours?
Right now, they're not painted, but the last time they were purple with sparkles.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to see that.
I'm sure I got a picture laying around somewhere.
That's funny.
What would you say is your best personality trait?
I laugh a lot.
Oh.
I smile a lot. Yeah. What's yours?
My sense of empathy.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
Very good.
And
Very important.
I agree.
Number one. Yeah, very important.
I agree. And then my favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Oof. Yeah, when I go by the hamburger places and I smell that grease burning, I think that's pretty gross.
That's an interesting one.
Huh?
That's an interesting one. I haven't heard that one before.
And what is yours?
Either farts or feet.
Oh, okay. Well, that old hamburger grease, man, if you go buy some of these hamburger fast food places and you smell that grease burning, it's gross. It's gross. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it can be certain ones. I agree. So you have pretty feet, Jean?
Yes, I do. I was a foot model for years. Yeah.
How do you get into foot modeling?
I started working at the Biltmore Hotel. I don't know. I managed a dress shop in Toluca Lake. They sold shoes. And one of the salesmen that came in said, "You're a beautiful foot model. Would you work for me?" I said, "Sure." So on the weekends, I'd fly to San Francisco and be a shoe model for big people that came in from Bullocks or Saks and bought shoes. So I modeled the shoes, and that's how I started working. And then I went into they did magazine articles of shoes, and I was a shoe model. So yeah, that was just one of my other jobs that I did. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, yeah, because I actually like feet just as much as I like belly buttons.
Oh, well, your feet are very useful, and they're very, when you rub your feet, it should relax your whole body,
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I feel that way about feet.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. Yes. Well, Jane, I thank you so much for coming on today. And like I said, you were just an amazing inspiration.
Oh, how kind of you. Thanks so much, Tommy. It was great speaking with you, and I'll have to go and try to find your podcast because I enjoyed speaking with you. Thanks so much.
Oh, yes. Let's
Hope
connect.
You have an awesome day and be safe out there.
Yeah, so let's connect on Facebook, and I can tag you in this, and then you can go listen.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it. Yes.
Wonderful. You have yourself a great day.
You as well. Thanks a lot, Tommy. Nice being with you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you have it. Jean Coulter. Ain't she a sweetheart? Ah, what an amazing inspiration of a lady. I can't tell you that enough. She just went through an awful lot, and she has persevered, and I admire that in a woman. I love hearing those stories. I just love hearing them. They're sad, but they're so amazing. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, add me as a friend on Facebook, join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook, Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying there's no shame in living in the past because the present sucks. Later, dudes!